Hi, in this video, the 7th in my series on the architectural project process, I'm going to discuss the 6th and final phase of the process, construction. Recapping where we've been in this process, we started with pre-design, which is where we collect all the information that we need in order to design the project. We've moved on to schematic design, where we've solved the problem and started to address what it's going to look like, and you've picked a design that you like out of the options presented. Then we moved to design development, where we started to make the project real by involving the structural engineer and addressing the building electrical and plumbing and HVAC systems. I started picking materials. Then from there we moved on to construction documents, where the drawn up what the building is going to look like and how to build it and what the assemblies are going to be like. In the 5th phase, permits and bidding, we have applied for the permits and gotten them, and also put the project out to bid and selected a contractor. And this brings us to the 6th and final phase of the project, construction. Now we're going to build it. The name of the phase says it all, construction. This is the phase when the contractor starts to build your project. This is the phase when the contractor takes the driver's seat away from the architect, and he initiates his control over the process. But it's still important to include the architect because he still has a role to play. During construction, there are many roles the architect plays, and the first and foremost is acting as an advocate for the design. There are many pressures during construction to change things, to make things smaller, to change materials, to do all kinds of things, and each one of those changes has repercussions that sometimes it's hard to foresee. And so it's important for the architect to be involved to say, yeah, you can make this change, but it might mean we have to change these other things too. And then you have a better sense of whether you're actually saving money or not, or saving time, or making it look better, or whatever the reason for the change was. The other thing that architects do during this phase is we're another pair of eyes on the construction site, checking to ensure that the contract documents, the drawings that we've worked so hard to make, and that embody your wishes and desires for this building, are actually being implemented the way that it's described in the documents, so that we're kind of checking. We're quality control for the contractor. And if you have a good relationship with the contractor, they appreciate that, because you can never have too many eyes looking at things. Buildings are very complicated things. The final thing that architects do during the construction phase is that we answer questions. The contractor's going to have questions, his subs are going to have questions, you might have questions. Certainly the inspector often has questions, and we're there to answer those questions and make sure that the right information gets to the right people during construction. Remember, no matter how talented or experienced your architect is, no matter how talented and experienced your builder is, your project has never been built before. I mean, that sounds silly, but no project exactly like it has ever been built before. This is the custom aspect of construction for homes and businesses. So it's important that your architect and your builder are working together to solve any questions or issues that come up during construction. And problems and questions will come up, because no matter how complete the drawings are, no matter how skilled and experienced your architect and builder are, because this has never been done before, there will be questions that need to be answered because it's never been done before. And they need to work out construction issues. And so it's important for your architect to be involved in this phase for that reason alone. And you know how annoying the permitting process was with all of that paperwork we had to do? Well, construction is similar. So there's all kinds of papers that the architect has to complete during construction. One of the most important things that we do is that we review the invoices that come from the contractor to ensure that they're invoicing for things that are actually on site, for work that they've actually completed, so that there's transparency, and be relatively confident that when you pay the contractor his progress billings, he's not cheating you. Most don't, and that's an important thing to note, but there are some people out there who will try to slide some things in, and the architect is one line of defense for that. Your bank, if you have a construction loan, may also have someone who's also looking at that. Sometimes they will require that the architect have already reviewed the invoices before they will even look at them. Also during construction, because it's custom work and it's never been done before, the inspector will often say, hey, you know, I really don't understand how what you're doing is described in the drawings. I want you to draw this up. Or this varies a little bit from what the architect drew, and I want a letter from the architect or a drawing from the architect that says he agrees with it. And so the architect needs to be involved during construction in order to address those kinds of issues and little changes to the drawings. There's also you. You start to panic when you see the slab go down and it looks tiny, and then you see that the framing goes up and it looks enormous, and then the sheetrock goes on and it looks tiny again. All of those things are reasons to have the architect on board, if only to hold your hand and assure you that it's okay, this is the way it's supposed to be, or to say, oh, you're concerned about that. If you change it, it's going to cost money, but if you really want to change it, let's talk about how we can do that. And so all of those things happen during construction. If you found this video useful or helpful, please feel free to subscribe or to watch more videos.